I never pictured myself as the type to pour my heart out in a long, messy breakup post online. I used to scroll past these kinds of stories and think, wow, thank goodness that's not my life. But, well, here I am. This isn't a burner account because, frankly, I'm past caring. Some of you might think I'm unhinged or over the top, but I swear I'm not fabricating anything. If anything, I'm trying to hold back to keep this from sounding too wild. My hands are still trembling, and it's been days. Apologies for how long this is. I'm typing this on my phone at my sister's dining table, on a bus. I can't even stand being in my apartment right now. I'm not starting from the beginning of our relationship because, honestly, it was pretty ordinary. Nothing worth diving into. No cute rom-com backstory needed. I'll jump to last month when things started getting strange. And I know everyone says strange, but I mean weird. My boyfriend, let's call him Jake, started treating me like I was just some extra in his movie, not his partner. He'd be glued to his phone, scrolling through obscure forums about watches or sneakers, barely acknowledging me. I'd suggest grabbing lunch, something like, "Hey, want to hit up that taco place?" And he'd mumble, "Nah, I'm good. Can we just stay in?" Without even looking up. But then he'd slip out later by himself and come back with takeout. I didn't suspect cheating, not at first. I figured he was just down or stressed from work. Then, about 2 weeks ago, he started making these little remarks that hit differently when you live with someone. You notice every subtle shift. He'd say things like, "You're always on my case, Emma," or "I just need to unwind. Can you not do this right now?" And once he said, "Sometimes I feel like I can't breathe around you." But then he'd act sweet at night, pulling me close or wrapping his arms around me while I was pouring coffee. So I thought, okay, he's just overwhelmed. I'll give him space. Looking back, I should have seen it when he started dodging my family dinners. My mom once called him out for not helping with dishes, and he pouted the whole evening. After that, he was always busy when family events came up, saying he needed time to recharge. My sister Lily called him immature, but I kept making excuses for him like a fool, saying he was just tired or not great with people. Fast forward to last Friday, I went to a pottery workshop with my best friend, Mia. She's in a group chat with me and Lily. You'll hear about her later. We were gone for a few hours, just messing around with clay, having fun. I get home around 9 p.m., covered in clay, ready for a shower and some junk food. Jake's on the couch, lights off, his phone screen glowing on his face. I say, "Hey," and he responds with, "We need to talk." That tone, you know the one. It's never good news. I sit down, still in my grimy sweatpants, and he lets out this heavy sigh like he's carrying the world's weight. He says, "I don't want to hurt you, but you're exhausting me, Emma." I laugh because I think he's kidding. Who talks like that outside a cheesy self-help video? But he's dead serious. He goes on about needing to feel free again and wanting space. He says, "Can you not text or call me for a while? I need to clear my head." Then he stands, grabs a duffel bag, already packed, mind you, so this wasn't a spur-of-the-moment thing, and walks out. No goodbye, no glance back, just the door slamming. I just sit there, stunned, thinking this can't be real. He'll text in 10 minutes apologizing, saying he's just tired. But nothing comes. I shower, eat some cereal, call Lily. She goes off, calling him a selfish jerk, and saying I should end it before he does. But I just feel hollow. I half expect him to sneak back into bed that night like he usually does after a fight. But the bed stays empty. Saturday morning, I wake up to 3 missed calls from Mia, which is odd. She's a texter, not a caller. She says, "Emma, have you seen Jake's Instagram story?" I haven't because I was trying to be mature and give him his precious space. She sends screenshots, and I can't even describe them without sounding like I've lost it. The first is a fancy hotel room with a city view. The next is a dinner table at a restaurant he never took me to, 2 wine glasses, a steak, some tiny dessert. Then a boomerang of someone's hand with a bracelet clinking against his glass. Not my bracelet, not Lily's, not Mia's, definitely not his sister's. I dig through my own photos and realize I know that bracelet. It's Sarah's, his ex from 3 years ago. She always wore those chunky, statement-making pieces. I remember because her old posts used to make me insecure when Jake and I first got together. Then the gut punch. A shot of a hotel nightstand with her perfume bottle. That weird teardrop-shaped one she used to post about constantly. I hated that scent. It was like syrupy candy. In the background, I hear her laugh, faint but unmistakable. She's married now, or so I thought. Guess that didn't matter. I text Jake, furious, asking if he's so pathetic he had to run back to his ex. I say, "Is this your idea of freedom?" He leaves me on read for hours, then sends a long message telling me not to make a fool of myself, that I'm too clingy, and need to deal with my insecurities. He claims he's just catching up with an old friend. I'm not stupid. I know what's happening. I call Lily, shaking with anger. She says, "Don't let him turn this on you." She warns me not to confront Sarah, saying it's not worth it, but also not to let Jake paint me as the bad guy. I ask if I'm overreacting, and she says no, he's deflecting because he's guilty. Lily's always been brutally honest, sometimes too much, but I needed to hear it. Later, I get a DM from Ethan, Jake's friend, who's always stayed out of drama. He asks if I'm okay, says he saw Jake at a hotel bar looking smug, like he got away with something. I ask if he saw who Jake was with, and Ethan says, "I didn't want to get involved, but it's not a good look, Emma." It stings, even if he's trying to be neutral. I know I might sound like I'm spiraling, but I have proof. People might say it's innocent, just a friendly meetup, but no one posts a 5-star hotel hangout with their married ex on Instagram unless they want attention. I know Sarah, she thrives on being the one who got away. And Jake? He's always chasing some thrill, saying he's meant for bigger things when life feels too simple. I think he loves the chaos. Saturday night, no word from him. My mom texts, asking if Jake's coming to Sunday dinner. I just say no, he needed space. She calls, sensing something's wrong, and asks if I'm okay. I say I'm fine, just exhausted. She offers to come over, but I decline. She says, "You don't have to put up with being treated poorly, Emma." She's right, but it's still tough to process. By Sunday, I'm just angry. I don't even want him back. I want him to know he can't trample over me and then play the victim online. I clean the apartment, stack his stuff by the door, not throwing it out, just making a point. I text him, "Your things are here. Pick them up." He leaves me on red again, so I toss it all in a garbage bag and leave it outside. When he shows up Sunday evening, he barely looks at me, grabs the bag, and says, "You're being ridiculous." I snap, "You're being spineless." He mutters something and leaves. I know some will say I should have talked it out or been more mature, but I'm done playing nice when he's treating me like a doormat. If I'm exhausting, he can go find his energy elsewhere. Now I'm dealing with the fallout. Lily's letting me stay at her place for a bit, and Mia's keeping me distracted with silly memes and trashy TV. But this isn't even the wildest part. I've got a plan, and if Jake wants drama, I'll give him drama. If you read this far, props. You're more patient than I am right now. I'll update if anything happens, but I have a feeling this is just the start. First update. It's been a week since I posted, and I'm still crashing at Lily's. Her fold-out couch is my home now, and her cat loves me more than her. I can't face my apartment. It's not the space itself. It's the little things, like Jake's random socks or that ugly mug he loved. They just make me mad. Also, why do guys hoard socks? Is it a thing? Anyway, the worst part isn't even that he left. It's how he made me feel like I was insane for noticing. He sat me down in my living room, told me I was exhausting and jealous, then went straight to a fancy hotel with Sarah, who's married, and acted like I was the problem. I know it sounds like I'm jumping to conclusions, but I'm not. I saw the stories, heard her laugh. It's the small details that hit hardest. Like, at Lily's, I opened the fridge and realized I didn't have to save milk for Jake's annoying smoothie obsession. Or when I went to charge my phone and didn't have to hunt for my charger because he wasn't stealing it. It's those moments that make it real, not the big blowouts. Back to Jake. After he grabbed his stuff, well, most of it, leaving behind a hoodie and some random cables, his Instagram kept updating. More stories, another hotel, this one with a rooftop pool, a dinner with 2 plates, including some shrimp dish he always said he hated. Then a video of a hand with bright red nails clinking a glass. Sarah's nails. I checked her old posts to confirm. I know maybe that's obsessive, but I've got time now. I'm venting to Mia, who's my reality check. She says, "You know you're not crazy, right? Guys love making you doubt yourself." She even questions if it's definitely Sarah, suggesting it could be someone new. I get why she'd say that. I question myself too, but then she offers to keep an eye on his stories and screenshot anything weird. I say yes, obviously. Now I've got a folder of evidence, hotel views, her bracelet, perfume bottle, red nails, wine, her laugh, all public, all flaunting it. I start thinking he's doing this to mess with me, or maybe to impress Sarah. Why is she even in town? Last I knew, she moved states away after her wedding. I do some light digging. No judgment. Her husband, Mark, is still posting beach photos, tagging her, looking clueless. That's when I get pissed. If it was just Jake being a jerk, fine. But Sarah? She's always loved stirring the pot. I remember when Jake and I started dating, she'd leave flirty comments on his posts, little inside jokes, just enough to make me feel small, but not enough to confront without looking paranoid. I let it slide then, but not now. I decide I want proof. Not just for me, but for Mark. Yeah, it's petty, but I don't care. If my life's imploding, I'm not going down alone. I don't want to be that person, but I've been the understanding girlfriend for too long. If Sarah wants to play dirty, I can play dirtier. Problem is, I barely know Mark. Met him once at a group thing. Seemed nice, but reserved. I call Mia, ask for his contact info. She's hesitant, says maybe I should let it go, but I insist. I need to feel like I'm not powerless. She gets it and says she'll ask around. Then Ethan DMs me, says he saw Jake at the hotel again, all cozy, with Sarah. He says, sorry, but you deserve to know. I thank him, but say I already figured. He offers Mark's email, but asks me not to mention him. So I sit at Lily's table, draft an email to Mark. It takes multiple tries. I don't want to sound unhinged, but I want him to read it. I attach the screenshots and write, I'm sorry to send this, but you should know. I'm not trying to cause trouble, just want the truth out. I hit send, hands shaking. 2 days later, no reply. Meanwhile, Jake posts a story. Black background, white text, something like, watch out for snakes, trust no one. I laugh. It's obviously about me, which is rich considering he's the liar. Lily says, he's mad you're not begging him to come back. Mia says, he loves playing the victim. I say, let him. I'm done watching his show. Finally, Mark emails back, short and skeptical. Are you sure it's her? I get it. He doesn't want to believe it. I send more screenshots. Sarah's bracelet, perfume, nails, plus old posts for proof. I write, I wouldn't make this up. He doesn't reply, but his Instagram goes private the next day. So does Sarah's. Lily says, she's hiding. Mia says, maybe he called her out. I don't know, and honestly, I don't care. I did what I needed to. Then Jake calls. Not texts, calls. I let it ring, but he tries twice more. I pick up on the third because I'm annoyed by the buzzing. He starts yelling, what are you doing, Emma? You're trying to destroy me. I say, I'm just making sure everyone knows the truth. He says, you didn't have to drag Mark into this. You're spiteful and crazy. I laugh. Tell him he started this, not me. He hangs up. I feel oddly calm, no guilt. Lily says, you did what was right. Mia says, he's projecting. Ethan texts, Jake's losing it. I say, good. Then it gets messier. Sarah DMs me a long, angry message starting in all caps. How dare you? She says it's none of my business, that I'm jealous because Jake chose her. I laugh, reply, I'm not jealous. I just don't like being lied to. She leaves me on red. Later, I go to my apartment for clothes and find Jake outside my door, hands in pockets, looking pitiful. I say, what now? He says, can we talk? I say, talk. He says, I didn't mean for this to happen. I say, you mean getting caught? He says, you didn't have to tell Mark. I snap. Maybe you shouldn't have taken your married ex to a hotel. He says I'm making it worse. I say, you made it bad. I'm making it fair. He steps closer. I block him. It gets heated. He blames me, says I never listened, that I made him feel trapped, that Sarah gets him in a way I never did. I tell him to go be with her and leave me alone. He says, it's not that easy. I say, it is for me. He calls me heartless. I call him honest for once. I tell him to leave. He slams his hand on the wall and storms off. Lily says, you're a badass. I say, I just want this over. Mia comes over with snacks and wine. We watch reality TV and she makes me promise not to text him. I swear I won't. She says, you're tougher than you think. I say, I just want to be done. My mom calls, worried, offers to visit. I say I'm okay with Lily and Mia. She says, you're allowed to be mad. I say, I know. I crash on the couch, wake up to 10 missed calls from Jake. I don't answer. Ethan texts, says Jake's telling everyone I'm manipulative. I say, let him talk. The people who matter know the truth. Later, I get one last email from Mark. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's it. So, yeah, I don't know what's next, but I'm not backing down. If Jake wants to play games, I'll play harder. I'm done being the nice one. If you think I went too far, maybe I did, but I'd do it again. Sometimes you have to get a little messy to survive. I'll update if more happens. Second update. I'm back because this mess never seems to end. Quick recap for newcomers. Jake dumped me with a speech about needing freedom because I was suffocating him, then posted Instagram stories from fancy hotels with his married ex, Sarah. I called him out. He called me jealous. So I sent proof to Sarah's husband, Mark, and all hell broke loose. I'm not sorry, though. 3 days after the Mark email, I'm at Lily's, her cat napping on my stuff. I'm scrolling, eating cold pizza, ignoring Lily's attempts to drag me outside. Mia's keeping me updated via group chat. Sarah's main account is silent, but her old one's posting angsty quotes about betrayal and nosy people. Very middle school vibes. Mia asks if I think Mark did anything with the info. I say I don't know. Maybe he's processing. She says, guys need concrete evidence to act. I say I gave him plenty. Then Ethan texts. Jake's locked out of the hotel. He's crashing at my place. I'm like, what? He says, Mark showed up at the hotel, caused a scene, security got involved. Jake's blaming you, but you did what you had to. I say, not my problem. Lily, eavesdropping, says, told you it'd get wild. I say, wilder than this? She laughs, says, he'll try to twist it. Next morning, my phone's blowing up. 3 missed calls from an unknown number, Jake, obviously. Voicemails and DMs from random mutuals. The story's out, spreading like wildfire in group chats. Someone from Sarah's old crew DMs accusing me of wrecking her marriage. I block them. I listen to one voicemail. Jake's ranting, saying I sabotaged him, then whining that I always do this. I hear Ethan in the background telling him to cool it. I delete it. I go to my apartment to grab stuff. It's quiet, which I like. I'm packing when I hear a knock. It's Jake. I open the door a crack, say, what? He says, let me in, I need to talk. I say, no. He says he needs his phone cable. I toss it into the hall. He says, you had to ruin everything, Emma? I say, you did that yourself. He steps closer. I step out, shutting the door. He yells, you're not getting away with this. I say, you're not scaring me. He says I'm bitter because Sarah chose him. I laugh, say, looks like nobody chose anybody. He swears, storms off. I call Lily, tell her. She's furious, says to call if he shows up again. I say I can handle it. Mia comes over with food, and we avoid guy talk, watching bad TV. She says people at her gym are gossiping about the hotel drama. I say it's nice knowing Jake's the one under fire for once. She says, he'll spin it. I say, let him try. 2 days later, Sarah DMs, no caps this time, just, hope you're satisfied. I don't reply. Mark emails, thanks again. I reply, sorry it had to be me. No response. Ethan says Jake's a mess, drinking too much, blaming everyone. I say, what am I supposed to do? He says, nothing. Just letting you know. He adds, I never liked how he talked about you. I say, wish you'd said that earlier. Then I run into Sarah at the supermarket, sunglasses on, looking like a tired model. I almost avoid her, but she spots me, marches over and says, you did this on purpose? I say, maybe I did. She says, you're jealous because we have something you'll never get. I say, doesn't look like you have it now. She slaps my arm, not hard, but enough to turn heads. I stare. She storms off. I text Lily, who says, you have all the drama luck? That night, Jake calls again. I don't pick up. He texts rants about how I ruined his life, how everyone hates him. I reply, you did this, not me. He leaves a creepy voicemail, just breathing, then hangs up. I block him again. Mia asks if I regret it. I say no, maybe just that it got so public. She calls me savage. I say, you don't know the half of it. Lily and I box up Jake's remaining stuff, leave it in the lobby with a note. Get it, or it's trash. He texts her, calls us crazy. She replies, test us. He doesn't show. I change my locks, sleep better. I'm not healed, but I'm trying to reclaim my life. I know this isn't over. Jake doesn't let things go. Neither do I. I'll post if more happens, but I just want a week without drama. Not holding my breath, though. Final update. I'm back, probably for the last time, unless Jake finds a new way to make a fool of himself. I started this to vent, maybe get advice, but the comments here helped more than my friend's words. Thanks for reminding me I'm not losing it, or if I am, I'm not alone. After the grocery store thing with Sarah, yes, she actually slapped my arm, and no, I didn't hit back, just let her stomp off. There was this eerie quiet. 5 days, no texts, no calls, no cryptic posts. I thought maybe it was done, and I could go back to my normal life of coffee and scrolling. Then a random number leaves 4 voicemails. I listen to one. It's Jake, sounding broken, not angry. He's apologizing, saying he messed up, sounding like he's crying or hungover. I ignore them. He starts texting Lily, begging for 5 minutes with me. She shuts him down, sends a thumbs up emoji when he calls her cold. I move back to my apartment, clean everything, toss his leftover junk, socks, a mug, his gross almond milk. It feels like taking my space back. I order pizza, listen to a podcast, sit on the floor. It's nice. Then Jake starts emailing. Subject lines like, please, or I'm sorry. One's a novel about how he wasn't thinking, how he wanted to feel alive again, how he never stopped loving me. He says Sarah ditched him after Mark found out, begs for another chance. I delete it. Lily says he's just lonely now that he's got no one. Mia says he's trying every trick, guilt, nostalgia, fake regret. Ethan texts, says Jake's telling people I ruined his life, but no one's buying it. I say, same old story. He says to call if Jake shows up. Tuesday afternoon, I'm working when Jake knocks. I open the door a crack, say, "What?" He looks rough, says he just wants to talk. I say, "Then talk." He apologizes, says he lost everything, misses me, can't sleep. I say, "You had your chances." He tries to step closer. I block the door. He says, "Please, I'm begging." I say, "Begging's pathetic." He tries to touch my arm. I push him back. He swears, looks like he might cry, then leaves. I tell Lily, who offers to come over. I say I'm fine, but to stay on call. The guilt trips keep coming. Late-night voicemails, texts from new numbers, even a Facebook message. All the same. "I miss you. I'm sorry. Give me a chance." I block everything. Ethan says Jake's outcast now. People are done with his drama. Mia says he'll move on to someone else soon. I say, "Good luck to them." Lily asks if I'd ever forgive him for closure. I say closure's a myth. She calls me colder than she expected. I say I'm just done. Jake tries one last time, waiting outside my building. I don't answer. He leaves a note. "I'm sorry. I hope you find better." I toss it. Mark messages, says, "Hope you're okay." I say, "Thanks, I am." I don't ask about Sarah. I'm over it. It's been 3 weeks. I'm not happy, but I'm lighter. Jake's still lurking online, liking old photos. I go to brunch with Mia, buy a silly plant, binge a terrible show. I'm not healed, but I'm not mad anymore. If you're wondering if it's worth blowing things up to take your power back, maybe not always, but when someone makes you feel small for months, sometimes you have to show them you're not and walk away. I never thought I'd be that girl, but I am. And I think I did all right. Thanks for reading, strangers. If you see a guy named Jake sulking at a hotel bar, keep walking. Or buy him a drink, I don't care. I'm busy living my life now. End of story, hopefully.